What up, football family? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Show. I'm your host, PL Culture. All right, it's week 8, ballers and ballettes. We're knee deep into the bye week season, and the injuries are piling up all around us. So now, more than ever, as the playoff race starts to heat up with everybody's league, the waiver wire pickups are more important than they've been all season. The scores are tight, at least in the league that I'm in. There's several teams that's within a game of each other, and now it's coming down to the point differential. So with that being the case, the waiver wire pickups this week and the next few weeks are going to be critical to either A, maintain your place where you are, or B, to help scoot up and get yourself into that playoff position for that strong push toward the end. So if you're like most people, have a few people out on bye, another few people injured, and you're scouring the waiver wire to find you some ample replacements, chill. You come to the right place. Pop you a cold one and sit back, relax, and enjoy the show because we got you covered. All right? So let's get started. Now, if you're like me, of course, you see that with the people that's on bye and with the people that's currently injured, the waiver wire is looking pretty thin. But there's still some gems there if you're willing to dig through there and look. That's what we at the Fantasy Football Show have done for you this week. And we're going to start in the city of Jacksonville, Florida, with Mr. Jason Hill, wide receiver for the Jaguars. Now, I know you're already going to say, but the Jaguars have a terrible passing offense, right? Right. So, I mean, somebody's got to catch the passes and pile up the yards that they do put up. And in Jacksonville, that guy's Jason Hill. Now, over the last 3 games, he's had a all right go at it. 209 yards and a touchdown. And he does draw a decent matchup this week against the Houston Texans. They're middle of the road against the pass, but it's not their defense that gives Jason Hill a chance to go off and get you some points this week. It's their offense. Last week, they just put a 41-7 beatdown on the Tennessee Titans. Pause. All right, I digress. And so they're getting their mojo back, getting their offense back up and cranking. And if they have that similar output against Jacksonville, then you're very likely to see either some A, garbage time receptions, yards, and points from Hill in a losing effort, or B, if it turns into a shootout, which that would probably be the case if they're trying to match Houston point for point, he still should get you some pretty decent looks. Now, there's no Mario Williams. The secondary has been playing decent under new defensive coordinator Wade Phillips, but they still can be had. So of all the people out there, Jason Hill is a guy that's probably still sitting on your waiver wire. Pick that brother up, get him in your lineup. Now, from Jacksonville, we fly all the way north to Minneapolis, Minnesota, to check out Mr. Michael Jenkins, wide receiver of the Vikings. Now, Jenkins, it looks like that he's built some rapport with rookie quarterback Christian Ponder ever since he got inserted into the league. If you remember, Jenkins was the guy who caught Matt Ryan's first NFL pass, and he went for a long touchdown. What happened this last week in Christian Ponder's first NFL start? His first pass goes to Michael Jenkins for a 72-yard bomb. Should have been a 73-yard touchdown as well, but the replay brought it back to the 1-yard line. Jenkins had his first 100-yard game of the year, and he also draws a favorable matchup against the Carolina Panthers and their 21st ranked defense. Now that's defense against the pass, that is. Now, if the defense and their prowess on not being able to stop the pass doesn't help Jenkins, then Cam Newton and that high-power passing attack that they have on the offensive side may actually help Jenkins as well. Either way, Christian Ponder may be in a position, just like Jason Hill in Jacksonville, to get you a lot of garbage points if there's a blowout, or if Cam does what Cam does and throws the ball all over the lot. It could very well be a shootout of sorts where all the wide receivers get involved, namely a guy like Jenkins, who's more than likely sitting on your waiver wire. Pick that brother up this week, see what he can do for you. All right. Now, we move down to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., to check out Mr. Jabbar Gaffney, wide receiver of the Redskins. Now, Gaffney's been solid. He's had at least 50 yards receiving in every game that he's played this year, which is pretty consistent, averaging 4 to 5 catches a game. But now those numbers should go up due to the unfortunate injury to starting wide receiver Santana Moss. Now, he's the number one go-to guy in Washington, hands down. With him being down for the next 5 to 6 to 7 weeks or so, look for Gaffney to move into that number one slot. And they, too, draw a favorable matchup with the Buffalo Bills and their 24th ranked pass defense. Now, just like the two receivers that I mentioned before Gaffney, if the struggling secondary for the Bills doesn't give Gaffney some opportunities to get you some points, then the high-powered offense that Fitzgerald, Stephon Johnson, Fred Jackson and crew will bring into the game could put them in a position to where they're in a shootout where you can get some garbage time receptions, or you can get some, hey, we're just trying to stay alive in this thing and winging it all over the lot type receptions. Keep in mind, you don't care about the outcome of the real game. You just want it to fall into your favor for your wide receiver to get points. And in all three of these scenarios, they're going against weak secondaries and high-powered offenses. Both of those could create a perfect storm for you to have some quality garbage points from your waiver wire picks this week. So that's Gaffney. So that's Jason Hill of Jacksonville. And that's Michael Jenkins of Minnesota. Now, we're going to deviate from the norm and introduce a new segment this week, which we like to call our viewer poll question of the week. Now, a couple of cream teamers and myself were sitting around, kicking around some stats, talking some pigskin as we love to do, and a question came up. And I posed a question to you. You guys are my fantasy football family. We know that you're rock solid with your football knowledge, and your input is not only asked for, but it's welcome here at the Fantasy Football Show. We're all one team trying to be one group of champions, all right? Well, except for the cream teamers in my league, but I digress. Trying to get at that championship, baby. Here's the question. Let's say you're in a keeper league, and you have two quarterbacks. You can only bring one into your 2012 season. As of today, not going in the past, not going into the future, but as of today, you have Tom Brady and Cam Newton on your roster. Who do you franchise? Who do you hold over in your keeper league as your quarterback for next year? We're talking the reigning MVP, Tom Brady, versus the new superstar, future face of the league, and Cam Newton. Sound off. Drop us a comment. You can also hit me up on Twitter to voice your opinions there, and we'll show you on the show. So holler back at your people on that. We'd love to hear your feedback. Next week, I will give you my answer. I just want to play everything even, keep everything fair this week. You got you have Tom Brady, and you have Cam Newton. Who do you keep? Tough question. You make the call. All right? Now, we move on to our Homer Alert pick for this week. As we do every week, you know the Homer pick is your favorite player, a player on your favorite team, or a somewhat stud that you play week in and week out regardless of the matchup because of where you drafted them. Pretty much a pride pick, if you will. This week, if you live in the desert lands of Arizona, or you're a fan of Larry Fitzgerald, or you're a University of Pittsburgh Panther alumni, be on Homer Alert this week. The Arizona Cardinals and Larry Fitzgerald specifically goes up against a tough Baltimore Ravens defense that brings the third-ranked pass defense into Week 8. Also, Kevin Kolb, let's just face it, he really hadn't been getting it done. They're ranked a paltry 18th in the league in passing. He hadn't looked comfortable in the pocket. Beanie Wells, on top of that, is injured. Again, I'm not going to get on you, Beanie. I digress. But he's injured again, so the running game is absolutely non-existent. So you can look at the blueprint for the Baltimore Ravens defense. Attack, attack, attack. That could spell big trouble for Mr. Larry Fitzgerald. If you have a better matchup on your bench, do yourself a favor. These games are too close. The points are too important. Get them on your bench. Get a better matchup in your lineup. All right, so that concludes another episode of the Fantasy Football Show. I'd like to wish everyone luck in Week 8. As we always close, we'd like to tell you that life is a sport, so always play to win. You can hit me up on Twitter if you have some sleepers, if you have some players that you like to share as well. We welcome that. Drop us a line on the comment section. Let the fans out there, the fantasy football family out there, know who they should pick up, who they should not pick up. We love the feedback. You can also hit me up on Twitter at PL Culture. That's at PLCOLTER. Sound off there, and we'll definitely put your thoughts on the air as well. So good luck to you all again in week 8. It's your boy PL. I'm out. God bless.